is Michelle with Pink and Main, and today we are going to be creating with the contents of our February 2020 Crafty Courtyard monthly subscription box. This box is themed Enchanted Garden, and as you can see by the mess of supplies here on my table, that it's fun, vibrant spring colors. They remind me of Easter and spring. I can't wait for spring and the warmer weather. And we're gonna make 4 cards, so let's get started. My first card here, I have my white card base, and I cut with one of our stitched rectangle dies a piece from this textured polka dot cardstock that's in the kit. And what I've done is I've layered some double-sided tape across the panel in a diagonal pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel the backing off of this tape so we have our sticky surface. Phew, now that that's done, sometimes that's a task, getting the backing off of that double-sided tape off. I've cut some strips of ribbon from the ribbon collection that comes in this kit, and I'm just going to place these strips of ribbon along the double-sided tape. And next I'm going to flip it over and just trim the excess ribbon off of there. You can also wrap it around the back and adhere it to the back, but that adds a little bit of dimension, and I just want to glue this flat down on the card. So we'll just trim the edges. Now I've just adhered this panel to our card base. You can see it opens up like that, and we're ready to add some more to the card. So I've taken some of the pattern paper from the 6x6 paper pad, and I've die cut this cute tag shape, which the die, the exclusive die that's inside the kit, cuts out this tag. I've got one of our chipboard stickers of this little leafy design here, and I'm also going to add some of these little pennant banner little flags to the card. And last but not least, I'm also going to add the little chipboard sentiment, "Live life in full bloom," down on the bottom. Next, we'll just peel off the backing of our chipboard sticker. And these are pretty tacky stickers, but sometimes I like to add just a little bit of liquid glue just to make sure they're going to stick down for good. You ever feel like, or have one of those days where you feel like Butterfingers, nothing just stays in your fingers right, stays in your hand? I think I want to center that up with the tag there. Okay, there's our card, and I could leave it like this, but I think I want to add a little more dimension and embellishment. So I'm going to take a piece of the green ribbon here, and I'm just going to tie like a simple little knot. I want to get it where my polka dots, and you just kind of twist and turn it as you're tying the little knot, so that you can get it where all the little polka dots are at the top, and that's what you see. So I've got my little knot, and I kind of squish it down, and it makes a nice little flat knot once you squish it. And then I'm just going to add some glue to the back and add that to the card. Okay, and I didn't cut the hole out of the tag, but that's okay because we're just gluing the knot on, and it will look like you've tied that through the tag. And I'll probably have to hold that down a few seconds just to let that glue set and dry. And then we'll trim the edges of the ribbon with some scissors. And there we have our first finished card. I just thought it would be fun to create a nice background full of ribbon. There's different ways you can add ribbon to your card. I love using ribbons on my cards. I love tying just these simple knots and putting them in different places, but I love the look of ribbon and I like how it looks here in the background of the card. For our next card, I've already gotten the pieces and parts together here, and I've already done some of the stamping and stencil work ahead of time, just for the process of the video, not to be too super long. I've used the gorgeous stencil that's in this kit. It's very detailed, and you can see it's this gorgeous pattern that it creates. And I've used our new ergonomic blender brush, and I used some yellow and some lime green ink, and I just kind of blended them all over this card panel that I cut with the stitched rectangle die. And it just creates kind of a gradient of yellow and green that matches really well with this kit. I've cut another layering piece with another one of our stitched rectangle dies in the green cardstock that's included in the kit, and we're going to layer those together onto a white card base. So I have the two panels together, and before I glue them to the card base, I want to add my sentiment strip and other parts to this because we're going to wrap a ribbon around it before we adhere it. So I have stamped on a little white strip here, "Thoughts of You Brighten My Day," and that's on the exclusive stamp set in the kit this month. And I've also stamped on I cut out a circle with our stitched circle dies, and then I cut one of the edges off so just like it looks like it's going off the card. I find that creates like a really nice finished look to have a shape like off to the side that drops off the card. And I've stamped some of the flowers in the stamp set using 2 shades of pink ink for the flowers, and I just stamped those layering pieces for the petals. And I used 2 different greens just to give a varied look for the different stems and leaves for those flowers. So we're going to glue that down first. And I think I'm going to have that just coming off of the stenciled panel. I like the line of green added as a border around that. So my pink strip that I'm putting the sentiment on is quite a bit wider than my sentiment strip, and I did that because I wanted to add some ribbon to this. So I'm going to wrap my ribbon around the back of this piece. If you haven't seen me do this before, instead of wrapping ribbon completely around this piece and then tying it in the front, which is a little awkward to try to do on paper because it bends and folds, but also to save on ribbon, I just simply put some adhesive on the back of the paper or on the back of the ribbon, and we'll tack down the back sides of the ribbon to the back here. And there we go. Now we have our sentiment strip. And I cut this to go across the whole card width. So I'm going to go ahead and glue our panels down to the card base now. I'm just trying to decide where on here, how low I want the sentiment. I think we'll go about right there. Now I want to tie a little knot around my ribbon, so we have a knot hanging off of this piece here. But I'm not sure I want to tie it on the ribbon this time. I don't want to interfere too much with my sentiment. So I think I'm going to go ahead and, like I did last time, and tie the knot itself and then adhere it to the ribbon. That way I can make sure that the ends of the ribbon don't interfere with covering up my sentiment. I'll go ahead and trim these edges a little bit. Hold that in place for a second and let my glue dry and set. Now there we have our second completed card. Now it's gorgeous, simple and pretty just the way it is, but I think I want to add some of these beautiful sequins that are in this kit. There, I think I like the placement of those there. We have an odd number and it looks pleasing to the eye, so I will just glue those down. When working with sequins like this, some of these really fine needle tip tweezers are really handy. They're lightweight, they're easy to squeeze and grab onto things with. Mine are bent up and abused. I have several pairs of these laying around. I use them a lot for lots of different things, but you can sometimes find them in the oddest places. One of my very good friends, her husband is into electronics and all that, and he goes to a local electronics kind of a, I don't want to say junk store, but it's like electronic parts that you can just buy in boxes, parts and pieces, and you get these for practically nothing there. And so we always have him pick up quite a few pairs for us. And here's our second card. Now I feel like it's completed. It's got some beautiful embellishments. These flower sequins are just gorgeous. They add a little bit of a dimension because they're a cupped flower sequin, but still so pretty. For our next card, I have our pieces already pre-cut and ready to go. I've cut another tag out of some white cardstock, and this time I've cut the scalloped tag that's part of the exclusive die. You can use it alone, or it layers perfectly with the tag that's in the set. I've also cut out, there's a little tag topper die that's part of this set, and I cut that out of the light green cardstock in the kit, and it has nice stitching as well that matches the tag, so it looks really pretty and complete. So we're going to layer those together. I've cut out a green strip of paper along with some pattern paper from the 6x6 paper pad. I'm going to use those dots. I also have a few of the chipboard stickers that we're going to put on this. I've cut out 2 layering pieces with our stitched rectangle dies, and I've cut one out of the really pretty mirror finish purple cardstock and a sheet from the paper pad that it's blue with these pretty flowers on there. So we're just going to start assembling our card. So there we have all our paper elements down on the card. So we have our base card ready. I did cut another piece of ribbon, and again, like I've done on a couple of the other cards, we're going to tie a knot. Just make the polka dots be on the top, kind of smash it down. I'm going to trim the edges, and we'll glue that to the top of our tag. I have a couple of the chipboard flowers that I want to add to the tag. Just kind of down in this bottom right hand corner. And then to finish this card off, I'm just going to add the Hello Friend sentiment right across there. There we have our third card. Just a cute and simple, it's kind of a card sketch kind of card. And I've used the tag, a couple of those chipboard pieces, some pattern paper and cardstock. There we go. For our final card, I'm gonna just make a really simple card. This has got to be one of the simplest cards I've ever done. I always tell you that I try to make the postcard in the kit something that you can use for a card or a project or something. So we are going to make a card where we use the postcard. So as you can see, this is the printed postcard that you get in the kit. I'm going to layer it on top of a piece of that really pretty mirror finish cardstock. The postcard comes 4 by 6. So I just needed to cut some off the top and the bottom to create a layering piece. And I've cut that mirror cardstock A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it fits right on top of my white card base. So there's no white border on this card, it's just that pretty mirror finish. And so there we have a card. I mean, you've got a nice, easy, it's kind of a note card type thing. It's perfectly flat, it'll mail easily. If we wanted to, we could embellish with just a couple of these little enamel shapes, and I think that's what we'll do. I'm just gonna put a couple of these little hearts on here. And just like so, we have a simple, easy card using the postcard from the kit. So I hope you've enjoyed this video where we made 4 cards using our February Enchanted Garden Crafty Courtyard kit. As of right now, there is still some time to grab yourself one of these kits before they're sold out. They are selling quickly this month, and I think it's because everyone's ready for spring, and these beautiful colors and flowers just remind us all of a cheerful spring. Until next time, keep living the creative life.